This episode of Farmers Market Fresh is brought to you by Paul Janaw of Farm Bureau Insurance Company right here in St. Clair Shores. Call Paul for all your insurance needs.
Welcome to Farmers Market Fresh, our cooking show at the monthly Farmers Market right here in St. Clair Shores. I'm Henry Bowman, St. Clair Shores Parks and Rec Director, and I'm really proud because I'm a South Lake grad myself that we have the South Lake Bistro with Chef Shepard that's doing the show this month. So let's take it right to the chef and see what he's got cooking.
Welcome. The microphone guy wasn't here, so I'm going to use my teacher voice. I'm Chef Darrel Shepard of South Lake High School and the South Lake Bistro. These are my Culinary Cavaliers. They're second-year students in our program. They're going to be doing a little demo in the background while I do the demo in the foreground. We have Evan, Daniel, Rebecca, and Jeremy. And remember, they're high school students that woke up really early to do all the prep, or as we call it in the restaurant, mise en place. Thank you. I like to tell them that I get to do my job, which is the best job in the world, teaching them, because they show up every day. So I'm fortunate. This is a St. Clair Shores Farmer Market cooking show sponsored by Paul Janaw, Farm Bureau Insurance. And I'm Chef Darrel Shepard of South Lake High School. Today we're going to do a quick quinoa Mediterranean salad. And the reason I chose quinoa is because everybody's trying to be a little healthier nowadays. And it's kind of foreign. People say quinoa, quinola, it's quinoa. It's an ancient grain. People have actually been eating it for 4,000 years. Trust me, I've only started in the last 4 or 5 years. It took me a bit to learn how to make it flavorful. Just like your rice or any other grain, the flavor of quinoa has a lot to do with how you cook it. Anytime a recipe calls for water with us and we're cooking grains, we're going to substitute our stock. We do chicken stock and vegetable stock with this, and a little bit of clarified butter. I know Chef Bobby has his blessing. We actually use not a lot, but a little bit of clarified brown butter in a lot of our recipes. It gives it a richer, nuttier flavor. And this recipe starts with a basic dressing, and we're going to do a vinaigrette. I like to do 1 part lemon juice. Well, I should explain to you that one of my hero chefs is Marco Pierre White, and he says that cooking is not about a recipe, it's about a philosophy. So I am doing a lot of this by eye because I've only made it, 80 or 90 times. What I suggest is the first time that you follow our recipe, go ahead and measure it out. And then the second time you can say, oh, I like a little more red wine in there. Add a little more red wine in there. I'm not going to come to your house and yell at you if you change my recipe, I swear. So I got red wine, lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. That's important. If you love the people enough to cook for them, you need to use the good stuff. And we use good lemon juice. And because it's a dressing, we use a higher quality olive oil. Into that, I'm going to put on my gloves first. Part of our program at the high school, we go through the National Restaurants Association's Serve Safe process, which teaches our students how to handle food safely and hygienically. They all become certified food handlers through the National Restaurant Association, which means when we operate our restaurant, which is a publicly operated restaurant, nobody's going to get sick. That was my rant. Now I've got the red wine, lemon juice, olive oil. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of this Greek seasoning. I use this brand. Now, last year I had a couple students that were Greek, and they brought me the Greek mixture from the Greek store. It's all the same. If I was Greek, I'd probably mix it myself. About a tablespoon, a little bit more. Touch of salt. If you're old enough to remember Emeril Lagasse and his cooking show, I remember when there was a comment about him washing his hands. I think I am old, but not that old. And so they had to put a hand sink on his set so he could wash his hands in between steps. But we're going to use gloves, and I do have some hand sanitizer there. You just saw me go through. Whisk that together. Just a simple vinaigrette. To that, I'm going to add 1 to 1 to 1. So 1 part red onions, and I'm going to add the red onions right to the vinaigrette. It'll soften the flavor. We don't want that real harsh flavor of onions. 1 part, these are beautiful. I got these earlier. They let me come in at 7 o'clock and poach some of the good produce from the vendors. These are suntan bell peppers. So they're green and they got all that beautiful flavor and color. Cherry tomatoes. Now we cut them in half because we don't want our customers to bite it and squirt all over the person across from them. Plus, they go twice as far when you cut them in half. Food cost. And again, Michigan cucumbers. I think we got these from Colchi Farms or Scott Farms. Did we get them from you? We got the Scott Farmers right in front of us. Thank you for the donation. And I'm going to mix them up real quick. Sometimes you got to put the whisk down and use that tool on the end of your arm. Now, to this is our salad mixture. We're going to add, we call it arugula, but I found out in Europe they call it rocket. And I think rocket sounds a lot cooler. And being a high school teacher, we want to capture that imagination with the students, so we call it rocket. Now you're going to find the rocket is a little bit peppery and a lot heartier than your regular romaines, so it'll stand up to this dressing. You can make this a couple hours ahead. And to be truthful, it even tastes good the next day because the quinoa that I have over there, again, that we cooked in our chicken stock, is going to suck up a lot of that extra vinaigrette. While I'm slowly going over this process, I want to invite you all to the South Lake Bistro. I don't know if you know, a little bit of a secret of South Lake Schools. We operate a restaurant that is open to the public. And we do so 3 days a week from 11:30 to 2:30 with our last seating at 2 o'clock. And that restaurant is run by the students of South Lake Culinary. We have a menu that changes on a weekly basis based on the students' ideas. They'll come to me and say, Chef, can we? Chef, can we? Should we? Of course is the answer. If they think it, if they can dream it, and we can fit it into the budget, of course, we do it. So this is our quinoa salad. Did I make a mess? How can you tell when a chef's working? There's a little bit of a mess. But as I tell our students, clean as you go. A little bit of arugula over. Then we finish it with a little bit of feta cheese. Now, a little bit, how about a lot of feta cheese? Crumbled feta cheese. Now you're gonna find that the dairy from the cheese really balances the acid from the lemon juice and the red wine vinegar. And we're gonna give this to you as samples when we're done with the show. I'm going to show you a couple other things. Like I said, we were lucky enough to come in this morning and get to kind of cherry pick some of the beautiful produce. If you look at the display, I'm not sure what we're going to do with it today, but I tell you, tomorrow and the rest of the week, we're going to be eating well in the bistro. The bistro opens for business this season, October 17th. And that's a Thursday. You know why it's a Thursday? Because even though they're chefs, they're student chefs, and as part of a high school, we have things like PSATs and ACTs and standardized testing and finals. So our restaurant schedule is actually based around the school schedule. And they do an amazing job, Becky. Rebecca's rolling a pan with a little bit of zucchini that we got from your dad this morning. And what kind of onions were those? Candy onions. Excellent. And again, the only thing in this pan is the candy onions, zucchini, a little bit of our clarified brown butter. Towards the end, we're going to add a little bit of garlic and then finish it with some Parmesan cheese. We'll have samples of that too. But that's really quick, really simple, and really delicious, right? Guaranteed? Okay, they guarantee it's delicious. I'm going to turn on my burner. I don't know if any of you have these at home, induction cooktops. I wish I had one at home. They're magical. Sometimes they make a little noise, so if you hear something, that's probably our cooktop. I was able to get some of this beautiful cauliflower. At home, I'll cut it into steaks. I'll leave the greens on. I toss it with a little bit of Maggi, which if you don't have it at home, you should get some. But soy sauce, Worcestershire, and then I use a steak seasoning. There's the Worcestershire, or my grandfather used to say, "What's this here sauce?" A little bit of steak seasoning. Just a little bit of salt. You know, there is a reason why we do high instead of low. It distributes the salt evenly. We don't want to go too high, especially on a windy day. Let's see if I can get the steaks out and get them in there. If you do it right and you plate it right, it looks like a tree, but it tastes like a steak. It has that consistency. And you'll notice a theme today. We're not cooking with a lot of proteins. Proteins are expensive. You can feed a family vegetables and lots of vegetables and just a little bit of protein and really stretch your budget. Now, here we have some of our Milanese bolognese sauce. So my grandmother was from Milan, and she took some ideas from her neighbor and came up with this sauce. And then my wife, where's my lovely wife? Right over there. My wife, Mary, loves carrots. And my best friend's mom used to put whole carrots in her sauce. So we put lots of chunky carrots in there, some sweet sausage, and what else do we have in there? Oh, some secret stuff. I'll tell you later, all right? Next show, I promise. So what we're going to do with that is, can you run and grab me the mandolin? It's right over there. Black thing? White thing. See, lots of planning here. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the zucchini into strips, and we'll saute those up instead of using noodles. So instead of the carbs, we're going to use zucchini noodles. Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's a time saver and a finger chopper. So if you have one at home, please use the glove. I got a little armored glove that I usually use, but we're going to see if we can do it without. Yeah, that's. And again, everything we're cooking with today came from local farmers. As I tell our students, buy your produce, buy the goods from the people with dirty hands. The closer you get to that field, the better it is, and the better it is for the world. I am a big proponent of farm to table, but it kind of isn't everything farm to table. Sometimes there's a stop in between. So if we can avoid that stop and buy right from you, it's definitely going to taste better. What's the key to good tasting food? You know what the key to good tasting food? Love and passion. If you're not happy, if you're not smiling, they're going to be able to taste it. So we want to make sure that you taste our smile on every meal we make. I got another pan. Is there another saute pan over there? I was going to be fancy and roll it, but we don't want to make a mess. See how it's browning up there? Looks like trees. Remember, the only way I could get my nephew to eat broccoli was I would tell him they were baby trees, and he would act like the Jolly Green Giant and eat them. So I'm not above trickery. That's going, that's going. I am going to grab your saute pan real quick. Thank you. And again, we know Chef Bobby's got his blessing. I have clarified brown butter. But not a lot, just a little bit. Thank you. The nice thing about the induction burners is they get hot really quick. And again, these are going to be in place of our noodles that we're going to use with the bolognese. Oh, I forgot. I didn't really forget. I'm a teacher, so we got to go over a couple lessons now. Sauté, fried quickly in a very little bit of fat. It's also a type of pan. Mise en place. You saw how I had everything done? That didn't happen by itself. These folks were up at 7 o'clock in the morning with me, chopping and washing and cleaning and getting everything exactly prepared. Good cooking is about, I'd say 70% preparation, having the things ready. How many of you at home have went to make those brownies and get to the part where it says add a cup of chocolate chips and there's no chocolate chips? In the kitchen, we do the mise en place first. That way we know we have everything we need to execute. So we got sauté, mise en place, which is French for to gather and arrange ingredients and tools for cooking. Then here's a neat word. This was bubbling slowly when it was on the burner. I learned this one this summer. We got to go to Flagstaff and cook with 30 other chefs from around the world. And the French chef taught us the term for the little bubbles, you know, when it tickles, just the little tiny ones with a pot. Méjoiner. Mijante. Méjoiner is the way the guys from Savannah pronounced it. And he said, since Detroit is a French city, I got to say Mijante. Mijante. And then the last one I'm going to say is we got half the way to Mirepoix. Mirepoix is really the trinity. It's going to be 2 parts onion. I got to look at my 1 part celery, 1 part carrot. That's going to be the base for our soups and a lot of our sauces. Now, the reason I went through that little bit of vocab is because as a student at South Lake Culinary Program, you're getting a language arts credit. You're going to get your senior math credit because we do a lot of kitchen math. And you're also getting your VPAA, Visual Performing and Applied Arts, because we take something from nothing, we create something, and we present it to the public. So our students work really hard. It's a 2-hour block for the whole year. And I tell them, if you're taking it for the math credit, there's easier math credits out there. But the best part of our bistro, what do you think the best part is? Serving you, the customer. You are an integral part of their education. Without customers, we just cook for each other, and that's fun, but we don't get the aspect of the education that's really vitally important, the professionalism. These young people get to work in a restaurant and work with the public, which oftentimes is challenging, but always rewarding. So we need you to come in and be our customers. I guarantee you'll be surprised at the quality and the added smile. This guy, see that? He was frowning. I could tell. We're not, throw that one away. We don't want to eat that frown one. No, but I every day I come to work and I'm amazed at our students. It's really about them and just a little bit about me. Oh, look at that. We blew the fuse. Can you believe that? Your power on? Finish those, please. Sometimes we forget to say please, but we always start the shift with please and thank you, so when we forget during it, we still know that we love each other. Looks beautiful. Pardon me? Yes. No, she's done. Well, that's all right. We can talk a little bit about, you see the onions back here? Don't worry about it. They're good. Onions back here. Cutting onions. Oh, make you cry, right? Yeah, it makes everybody cry. There's, what, 30,000 different wives' tales about how not to cry. I heard piece of toast in your mouth, run underwater, wear scuba glasses. None of that stuff really works. The only thing we can do when we cut onions is do cold onions, cut them quickly, safely, and then move them away from our eyes. And even that doesn't work for some of us. I would tell you the chemical name for that, but I don't think I can pronounce it. Synpropanol S oxide. It's basically a sulfur-based oxide that'll get into your eyes. And this guy right here, he's highly, highly sensitive to it. He's a workhorse. He'll do anything. And sometimes I forget and say, go cut me 100 pounds of onions. And 3 onions in, his face is swollen up and he's crying and I feel like a dog. So we don't let Daniel cut onions. Let's see, there's our... And that's the thing, as a teacher, we learn as much as we teach. And every day is different. That's what's fun. Try it now. Nope. Let's see what else my notes. I forgot to tell you that not only do we have quinoa in here, we have farro. Farro is Italian for ancient wheat grain. It's excellent. It'll give you a little chewiness in there. And again, we cook that in our chicken and vegetable stock, so it's going to just suck up all that beautiful flavor. Let's see, I always write my notes down. Ancient grain originated in Mesopotamia. Farro contains more dietary fiber than most grains and is a great weight loss friendly food. Both farro and quinoa have a lot of magnesium in them. So if you have sugar issues, or if someone in your family has sugar issues, that magnesium is going to regulate their blood sugar. It's excellent for anyone that is sensitive to sugar and anyone that's looking to lose weight or build muscle mass. It's a complete amino acid. So when you work out, you need that amino acid to build the muscle mass. Or if you're looking to shed some, well, not really muscle mass, some mass, it'll help you by keeping you full. Do I have any questions? I cook them together in the same pot, yes. There's no rules, there's only right. Like Marco said, yeah, roughly the same, about 23 minutes. What I do is I bring my stock up to a boil, put about a tablespoon, this is a huge amount by the way, I think we cooked about 5 pounds for today's demo. Put about a tablespoon of the clarified butter in there, toast the grain first, and then we put it in, bring it up to a boil again, and just like rice, put a tight pitted lid on there, walk away. And it is good. I like it warm because it wilts the salad just a little bit and make it more tender, but it is great cold. This is a good side. Anything you use rice with, you can do it with quinoa. Any other questions? Right now we have tables for 60. It'll hold 125 if you choose to have a party, and yes, we book parties. Part of our curriculum is doing a lot of banquets. So we do catering outside, we do catering inside. That's one of the neatest things about this program. We actually do a community luncheon for their career day at Jefferson Middle School. I know they're Lakeview, but they're still our friends. And we will feed about 500 guests in about 30 minutes. So we bring all the equipment, we do 3 or 4 different pastas, some fresh salads, and these folks have all done it. Remember that? It was amazing to see how quickly they come in and go. Any other questions? Pardon me? Our program consists of, I think we have 96 this year. It's 3 blocks, 1 1-hour block and 2 2-hour blocks. I have 6 second and third year students that we call hospitality management students. So they're actually like student mentors. We're hoping to get more second year students this year, but because we give that senior math credit, we get a lot of seniors. I'm just going to wrap up the show and invite you all to come on in. South Lake Bistro, we're at 9 Mile and Mac, across from Royal Barn. You know that song, right? Yeah, well, I'm not going to sing it, trust me. Even though I got the mic, I'm not going to sing it. I invite you to come in and be a part of our students' education. We love St. Clair Shores and we love you. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, thank you so much, Chef Shepard and the South Lake Culinary students. I haven't been to the South Lake Bistro myself, but I'm really looking forward to get there. I encourage everybody to get there. Their opening day is Thursday, October 17th, so try and get in there and check out what the students are cooking too. So really a great program, something St. Clair Shores can be really proud of. We've had an incredible year with Farmers Market Fresh, from opening it up with Chef Bobby. He did our first 2 shows, and really great. Chef Bobby is such a personality on the camera. That guy has tons of personality. He really lets you see it. It's great. What a wonderful shows. And then we brought up Sal Rubino from Gaudino's, and they put on a great show talking about all their signature dishes they have there. And then Louis came over from Watermark with his cousin, one of the chefs over there, put on a great show. And I can't think of a better way to finish out the entire year than with Chef Shepard and the South Lake Bistro. So it's really cool. We got something really cool here. We started doing it this season. This is going to be a mainstay for our St. Clair Shores Farmers Market. We're looking forward to having more restaurants. We know we want to bring Gilbert's in, maybe even some of the smaller places like Sabby's or Boatworks or a few other places like that. We really want to see everybody get involved with this and have a lot of fun. There's going to be some new things going on with the farmers market next year. Right now we're exploring doing a Thursday night market on the second Thursday. We're going to call it Night at the Market. We'll have live music here. We may do a movie one night. We're going to probably have our breweries here on a night, and then do some other breweries, get some good taste. We're looking at how wonderful different events went for the year with the corn roast and archery out here, and the bird trailer, the bird encounter, plus the petting zoo. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're continuing this, give you a little bit different taste every time you come. We're looking at, our music next year, keeping that going, looking at younger people that we want to see get a start in the music, who wants to get going, bring them in here to the market, let them play a little bit more. We've had some bigger bands. We're looking at changing up. Always would love to hear your opinion, what you would love to see it. You can email me at bowmanh@scsmi.net. Let us know what you'd like to see here. Let us know what, if there's something that you'd like to see even more of. We'd love to, we're here to make sure the market goes well. And I'll tell you what, our last day here in September really makes me feel good. It started out a little slow, and I was like, oh, doesn't look like enough people were going to come by. Well, our sponsors came in. The Hearing Loss Treatment Center sponsored 1,200 bags today for the farmers market, which was huge. They were gone by 11:15 this morning. Then we had, of course, Paul Gano with Farm Bureau Insurance sponsoring the Farmers Market Fresh Cooking Show. Will Hadley Real Estate was sponsoring the petting zoo, and we had the Fort here today. They're doing exercise for kids. I can't think of anything more appropriate with a farmer's market and fresh food that we have, that we're working some exercise into it. So we're looking now, we may have to do like a 5K at one time next year. We're really looking forward to our start of the farmer's market next year. It's going to be a little bit different. Instead of, because Michigan produce doesn't come in till late June and into July. We're going to start our first market. It's going to be St. Clair Shores Farmers Market presents Flowers and Food Truck. Really looking forward to get this going. We're doing exit surveys today. We want to know who's here, how you heard about it, what do you like about it, what do you want to see, all those great questions. And we had Community Choice Credit Union today helping us out, passing out the bags, and also doing the exit survey. So we're going to see you next month. It's been my pleasure being a part of it. Donna Hill, our market manager, has done a great job dealing with all of our workers. We've had a couple of our Parks and Rec employees doing working by checking people in. It has been a total team effort, and I absolutely love it. So thanks to everybody, and thanks for coming out this year. Looking forward to next year. Bye now.
This episode of Farmers Market Fresh is brought to you by Paul Janaw of Farm Bureau Insurance Company right here in St. Clair Shores. Call Paul for all your insurance needs.